I'm a Rwandan woman who was born in Belgium. And I'm not afraid to say my age, I'm 48. I love music. I was a member of a choir in Belgium for 12 years. Wow, now it's getting like, that's good. I've always, I think, had a particular, I would say, inclined to Italian cuisine.
Thank you so much. Emmanuel Nirenganya. I'm a journalist for the New Times. So we are here at the National Bank of Rwanda headquarters, and we are here for your new appointment as the Governor of National Bank of Rwanda, which President Paul Kagame on February 25 appointed you as the new Governor of National Bank of Rwanda, and you're the first female governor of the Central Bank of Rwanda. So we would like to know, who are you? You can tell us, introduce yourself and tell us about you so that people can know who's the first female Central Bank governor in Rwanda. Thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for having me. I must first say that I've been very honored and humbled by the trust by His Excellency, the President of the Republic, in the appointment as the Governor of the National Bank of Rwanda. But it's an institution that's not new to me because I've been Deputy Governor for the past almost 4 years, since 2021. And probably I'll first say that also my probably task or the assignment I'm given will be made easier by the foundation that previous governors have set, especially the immediate outgoing governor, Governor John Rwangombwa, who has been at the helm of the bank for 12 years. So the strong foundations that we have now at BNR, the strong teams that we have now at BNR, are all part of his legacy. Now, you asked, who am I? Yes. I'm a Rwandan woman who was born in Belgium. And I'm not afraid to say my age, I'm 48. And those 48 years, obviously I've lived in different countries, starting with Belgium where I was born, Rwanda where I grew up. That's where I did my primary school. When my parents came back to Rwanda, I was 5 at the time. I also did my secondary school here in Rwanda as well at École Belge, the Belgian school of Kigali, before going back to Belgium for university. So I would say that I have that double culture, but you know, I was raised by parents who believed that the roots that we had, my siblings and I, were Rwandan roots. I've never heard them speak to me in another language than Kinyarwanda. And even at the time when I didn't speak the language, at least I understood it. And I'm also, I think, grateful to my parents for making sure that even when we were not living in Rwanda, the culture of Rwanda was with us. The history of Rwanda was with us. And probably that had an impact on me when I started my career to always know that I will come back home and use my knowledge to help build a nation. So probably on my academic background in university, I did what they call in French ingénieur de gestion. It's an engineering program that has, in the first 2 years, engineering classes, and then the last 3 years, it's focused on business management, and I chose as an option finance and also marketing. It was an university in Brussels, a business school called Solvay Business School, which is part of one of the largest universities in Belgium, Université Libre de Bruxelles. After those 5 years, I started working in banking. I had always had a passion and an ambition to do banking. So I started in international banking, working for the Bank of New York in Brussels. Their European center was based in Brussels, where I spent 3 years. And then in 2004, 2005 actually, I decided to go back to school. And I went to a university in the US for a postgraduate program in international management. So I found myself in a small town called Glendale, on the outskirts of Phoenix in Arizona, where I did a postgraduate degree in international management. From there, I went back to the Bank of New York, was promoted to a team leader position. And then after a few months, I had a better opportunity in the largest bank at the time in Belgium and Netherlands called Fortis Group, where I worked for approximately 6 or 7 years. But in the meantime, as I was working there, the bank was taken over by a bigger group, a French group called BNP Paribas. So I found myself working in Paris. That was in 2011, 2012, and then decided to come back home to Rwanda. And I came back, worked for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation, MINAFET, as senior advisor to the minister. At the time, the minister was Honorable Louise Mushikiwabo, who's now the Secretary General at La Francophonie. So that was my first role in Rwanda, and also my first role in government. And I learned a lot on not only Rwanda's foreign policy, but also Rwandan public institution. And it was an exciting time because at the time, 2012, Rwanda was running for a non-permanent seat in the Security Council of the United Nations. And it was really, I think, an honor and a privilege to be part of the team that was involved in the campaign, which was successful, by the way, because Rwanda was elected to the Security Council in October 2012, I still remember, and for a 2-year term. So with that experience, I think I gained an understanding of what Rwanda stood for, its ambition. At the time we were implementing Vision 2020. And after 2 years in that role, I thought that I still had a banking call. So I went back to finance, first by starting my own advisory firm to advise on investment opportunities in Rwanda and the EAC region, working with European and American investors. I did this for 2 years until I was called by another global bank called ING in Belgium first. And then after a few months, actually, they sent me to their subsidiary in London. So that was 2016. And I spent 2 years in ING Bank in London, working for their financial market and financial institutions group, and as a vice president in charge of counterparty risk, covering financial institutions.
Well, and we would like to know, for instance, what are your hobbies? What do you like as well? What do you dislike? And you can tell us about that, including your hobbies. What do you like? What do you dislike, and why?
Very good question. I think for any human being, it's good to not only have a very fulfilling career that probably you spend a lot of time working, but have time for other things as well. I've always liked reading. I read a lot. Books, maybe now with the responsibilities that I've had since I joined first cabinet and then the central bank, one has less time to read, but it's something that whenever I have time, I do. Reading books, fiction, non-fiction, a lot of biographies. I love music. I was a member of a choir in Belgium for 12 years, so I love music, all types of music, but I was in a gospel choir. So it's something I don't have, unfortunately, the opportunity now to be able to sing, but listening to music has always been a hobby. Sports, gym and running has always been part of my life. And I think, yeah, traveling and discovering the world. Now I travel more for work than leisure, but I've always been interested by discovering other cultures, other countries, understanding how they see the world, their perspectives on different topics, and really mingling and knowing people from different backgrounds.
Anything you dislike, anything you like, and why?
That's an interesting question. Anything I dislike, there are a lot of things that probably, get on my nerve, but maybe something that I think always, that I'm always trying to make sure that I avoid is being given an opportunity and not seizing that opportunity. For me, it's something that I always try to make sure that I don't do. And that's something probably that I also dislike in people. People who take things for granted or feel that they're entitled instead of really sort of building on opportunities they're given and making the best of them.
Oh yeah, that's good. What are you like inclined to, passionate about?
I think probably when I look at all my interests, I started by saying how I was curious and passionate about knowing about banking. So I'm a very curious person, so things that I don't understand, they tend to attract me because I want to always expand my knowledge. I have always also, I think, had a passion to understand people who have achieved a lot of things in their lives. That's why probably I read a lot of biographies. I think overall, when you sum up, is probably trying to understand people who have made an impact on the world or on Rwanda. How do they do it? So it all sums up at how do we make sure that the life you lead makes a difference, is a purpose-driven life, as they say, and always looking at the bigger picture. How am I fitting in? How am I contributing? So being in Rwanda at this particular time, I think it really fits into what I always want. We have very, very ambitious vision of becoming a high-income country. And for me, this is what drives me. Because I imagine myself, or even our generation, if in 30 years we're living in a high-income country, I think that will be the reward of our lives. So I tend to work towards that goal.
That's great. Any food you like the most?
Wow, now it's getting like, that's good. I've always, I think, had a particular, I would say, inclined to Italian cuisine. So anything pasta, you send it to me. I also have a sweet tooth, so all types of desserts, I think I tend not to say no to them.